Hi, I'm Leah. Welcome to the Corp Eh Diem podcast. Today I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm Dom, and welcome to the show.
Pavel is originally from Russia, where he earned his MSc in mechanical engineering and PhD in mathematics. He has over 15 years of experience building and leading data modeling, advanced analytics, and data science teams, developing solutions that have brought organizations over $200 million in revenues and savings. Currently, he is developing Zane, an AI-powered app designed to help everyday people achieve financial independence by answering their personal finance questions and managing their money on their behalf. Honestly, that resume is intimidating in the best way. Let's dive in. Hi, Pavel. Welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing well, and thank you for the invitation.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you again today, Pavel.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about this, but how many podcasts have you done before in live events like this?
I would say like a couple of dozen.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot more than I was expecting. And you have a pretty cool outfit on today. Can you tell me about your t-shirt?
You can see it. Yeah, I have like a bunch of t-shirts with different like moods. I use their moods. And
every time I see you, there's always a different I'm not sure if I've seen you wear the same t-shirt twice, so you must have quite the collection.
Well, don't ask my wife. She hates it because she said like, you have nothing to wear and you have no place to put your new shirt.
So this has been going on for a while, the t-shirt collection?
I guess it's like a couple of months.
That's it? No, I've known you for a year, and every time I see you, there's something like...
Well, I mean, this one is new, but yeah, I have a big collection.
Got it. Right, well, welcome to the show. I met Pavel as a client of mine. He came to me for a rebranding exercise on a fintech platform. And then from that, I've got to know Pavel a bit over the last year.
Yep.
And he's got a fascinating story, and I'm building a very cool / fascinating app. So...
Well, I have lots of questions because for me, this is only my second time meeting you. So if you can just take me back. So you're originally from Russia and now you've been in Canada for how many years? About
17, almost 17.
So did you move directly from Russia to Canada? What was the trajectory like? How did you choose Canada too? You know, a lot of people think it's the American dream. If I want to be an entrepreneur, be successful, I have to go to America. But you chose Canada.
It's a long story. I'm just trying to keep it short. Because I was born in USSR, not Russia.
Okay.
I was at Tajikistan, like a tiny republic, the part of the USSR. And it was, by the time, like probably one of the best places in the world. Because it's mountain, beautiful, like Switzerland, if you wasn't Swiss. And lots of money, because we created a shield of the motherland. And like nuclear bombs and so on, it was created like in our area. So this is why we used to live in great place. But back in 1991, the USSR collapsed until this republic became independent country and started civil war. So I used to live like for almost half a year, like in the war, and then escaped to Russia because by the time it was a better place to live in. But then in Russia it started another movement, and for now you know what's going on in Russia. So in the mid-1990s, beginning of 2000, I decided to escape again because I went through war. It's another war in Chechnya, and I had to be part of this because in Russia, as you know, like every young man had to serve. And after that, I decided I don't want it anymore and decided to move away. But luckily for me, I am a good mathematician. And by the time I graduated at one of the best Soviet and then Russian universities. I became among top 20 young Russian mathematicians. I mean, like I was offered position at the university, at the same time offered position in multiple universities in Europe. And dedicate some time moving across multiple countries. Germany, Switzerland, Great Britain. In Great Britain, I lived like 3 years, University of Westminster, and was awarded by British Royal Society as one of the best overseas researcher. But one day I made, a mistake, or maybe the opposite, got invited from one of my friends to return back to Russia. I said, like, you're crazy. He said, like, we need mathematicians like yourself to start building cool models. Because the economy has reached a point when advanced businesses need something advanced. I mean, like technological advanced tool, and math is one of these tools.
So just interject for a second, just because you've got quite the pedigree for degrees. So maybe tell us. I think Pavel's my smartest client that I have on
Oh, thank you.
on paper. Like he's got 2 PhDs.
Yes.
So
Yeah, because like in Russia, I started as a mechanical engineer. My first degree is mechanical engineering, and we created submarines and rockets. So I'm just rocket scientist.
Just very
Literally,
casually
literally.
a rocket
Yeah,
scientist.
but by the time the math became one of the key elements, key tool for us, because my boss or professor said, like, as a mechanical engineering, you have to know math better than mathematician, because they create some artificial math. You create practical math, and if you like make some mistake, the rocket will be going down, and this is not right.
so you have a PhD in math and then a PhD in data science.
Yeah, computer science, because when I had an option to go to the second war in Chechnya or to go to Great Britain, obviously my choice was Great Britain. So I went to University of Westminster in London, UK, and worked on my second PhD at this university.
Oh, yeah.
And after all that, you landed in Canada. Did you come directly to Calgary, or did you live in any other cities before?
Calgary, actually, yeah, because I said by the time I moved back to Russia, like after I didn't finish my research at University of Westminster because, as I said, like my friend called me, said, go back to Russia. I said, I'm not so stupid. He said, we'll pay you 10 times more. 3 days later, I landed in Russia. And I helped build a business. So by the time, no one used term artificial intelligence, but we had already, like by the time we started working on algorithms, which are called AI right now. And it was like big company, like agricultural service company with thousands and thousands of elements. And if you know agriculture, it's very seasonal business, like ups and downs and so on. And no one could build a model to properly predict it. And I hired students. I used to teach at the university. We built a model in 3 months. Then we dedicated 3 more months to build a platform, like a visual platform. And in 6 months, we helped this company save like 147 million. And one of them became mine. And I understood, okay, it's probably a big market because companies are ready to pay, because supply-demand interlock, it's the biggest problem any company has, regardless what they do. Like develop like glasses, tables, or rockets, like supply-demand is what any company has to solve first.
And that would have been using an AI or a version of AI how many years ago in that case?
Well, again, by the time it was not AI, it was like advanced mathematical algorithms.
Okay.
And I invented them, I created them, and so on. So I decided just to leave the company and start my own business, because when I communicated with businesses, practically each and everyone said how we need it. Because what I did is very powerful predictive analytics, which allowed companies to foresee the future.
Oh, yeah.
What will happen tomorrow, like next day, next week, next month, year, down to each item.
And then when you landed in Calgary, was that what you were doing then?
Not exactly, because I said, like I started this business, it started growing like crazy because everyone needed it. And you know, like in Russia, if your business is growing very fast, someone likes it. So like I was invited to some government facility just to communicate, because by the time I was against Putin, it was not fashionable by the time. It's like beginning of 2000s, like 20 years ago. And they said, like, you need to stop it, your political activity, and also we like your business. You can continue manage this business, but we'll take it.
Really?
I said, like, do you have other options? They said, yeah, you can stay here like for 10 years. So I came back home and submitted application for Canadian residency, and given all my stuff, like best mathematician, British Royal Society, and so on and so on, I got a visa, like permanent resident visa, practically immediately. So I said, the guys, okay, if you like this business, run this business, bye.
So you left the business, like left a successful business to come here, basically.
Yeah. So just sold whatever I can sell and moved to Canada.
So
And before going to Calgary, again, I'm a mathematician. I built a model of the best place to live in Calgary. 24 different parameters like living style, average salary, economics, ecology, crime, like lots of stuff. I built this model, I trained this model, and I got 3 winners, Calgary, Halifax, and Victoria. And
Of
Calgary
course,
was
you
like
analytically
top
decide where you're going to move to.
Well, originally my option was Halifax, but then I just trained model once again. It predicted some oil prices would be going up, and I decided, okay, Calgary probably would be the best place for me.
And why Calgary over Edmonton? Because I'm from Edmonton and I'm kind of insulted it didn't make the list.
Well,
Calgary's way
Edmonton was on my list because I said I put like all locations with 100,000 plus population to my list, all of them. Because sometimes like living in small town is great.
Yeah.
And especially these days, like when you have remote job, but by the time it wasn't the option. And like Calgary won and I moved to Calgary. So luckily for me, by the time the company I consulted, like it was my side business, said, hey, we don't want to divorce with you, continue work with us. I said, okay, like 6 months, I would be able to do it, and then I will start soon. So 6 months, these guys continue paying me, and then I started seeking job. And it was...
So this is like digging into your LinkedIn. So back to, so now you're in Canada, in the workforce. It seems like you have 19 jobs. Is that correct?
Yeah, I saw 19 different placements on your LinkedIn, which was like super impressive.
Some of them, it was like consulting jobs, like part-time jobs, because I can create very cool tools, and I'm talking about math, computer science, and so on. But some companies, they don't need me full-time. Because I create solution for you, I can support the solution, but paying me full-time, it's just waste of your money. Yeah, it's nice for me just to get like a top like level salary and so on, but I don't believe it's fair. And I believe in karma. Whatever I do, always comes back tenfold. So I said, the guys, I can help you, can create it, I can support it, I can find people who can support it. But you don't need me for full time. But by the time, like my contract with my company in Russia was over and I started seeking new position here, I didn't know like anyone here. So just ask people around, do you know any company like which like seeks or might potentially seek a guy with my experience? And some of my friends told me, TELUS is building a new department, analytical and fulfillment, something like this. They might need. So I asked the guys, can you find email of vice president? And I sent a mail to this guy, Dave McMahon, and it was very simple. I'm smart guy, hire me.
Yeah.
And obviously he didn't respond, but he forwarded my email to one of his directors, who forwarded to one of his managers, and managers forwarded to his assistant. She called me and said, hey, we would like to invite you to interview. I said, like, who are you? I haven't applied. Anyway, she said, I'm from TELUS. I said, oh, TELUS, okay. So they invite for interview, said, can you build like graph with Excel? I said,
build a what?
Graph,
Yeah.
like with Excel.
Yeah.
I said, I can. It's like, rocket scientist, like, can you build a like scooter? I can do it right now. Oh, you can take a week. I said, let me do it right now, like save everyone's time. So I just built it immediately. Can you build some forecasting model in Excel? I said, yeah, like click. And so on. They said, okay, cool, we'll call you. And they, so I started working with TELUS. I didn't like what these guys do because Excel, fantastic tool. But I said, hey guys, you trying to manage like thousands and thousands of people, like your employees, millions of your clients and so on. What about like more advanced tool? So my boss, like direct boss said, it works, don't worry. His boss said the same, so I came up, like moved up to Dave, like VP, and said, Dave, I have an idea which can save us like $100 million. He said, what do we need to do? I said, like, we need to replace Excel spreadsheets with like more advanced tools. So like by the time I used to use MATLAB, it's like system for like modeling, MATLAB, mathematical matrix laboratory. I said like we need to buy this tool and I will create solution which will automate most of our operations. He said how much cost? He said like $5,000. He gave me his business credit card, so buy it. So I bought this tool, created simple solution like window with one button, which called like forecast. And you click this button, it said like, do you have files with like data you need to attach? And user like can choose like files, click this button and forecast a little bit. So my peers who used to spend like days and weeks building like simple model, now would be able to build hundreds of models in one click. So it's huge, like time saving. And then we started working on optimization, because by the time I was in a team which manages technicians. Tell us like it's thousands and thousands of technicians.
Like the guys in the field?
Yeah, field operated guys.
Yeah.
It's like home installation, business installation, and so on and so on. The biggest challenge was to predict how many people will be required, when, where, why.
So you're trying to, in that case, predicting customer demand on like service calls, and then obviously there's failures, right? So what's the failure demand as well? And sort of like,
you're absolutely right. Yeah, this is what I said at the very beginning. Any business has one problem: supply, demand, interlock, because all the rest is just like support materials. Because if you know what your clients will need tomorrow, and again, tomorrow might be next day, next month, next year, down to each item, and you can allocate your resources, financial, human resources, and others to meet this demand.
So you're optimizing ahead of
you
the
will be
curve.
the winner, yes. And like what else was big problem, because people, like they are human beings. You cannot like click and move these guys from point A to point B immediately, because it takes time for movement, it takes time for equipment, for warehousing, and so on, so on, so on. And if you can better predict demand, not only like when, but also why, how, and so on, you can better allocate your resources.
So you're mobilizing the guys ahead of the demand, so that way you've got the right people in their field with the right tools at the right time.
Yeah, exactly right. And
So you get
if
better
you
service
remember,
and less
Telus, by that time when you call, like Telus and maybe some other provider,
horrible service.
it was like around like 2 weeks for technician to arrive and fix something.
Yeah.
We squeeze it to 2 hours.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so like
Did you get a raise for that?
Sorry?
Did you get a raise for that?
Well, I was like promoted in company like a couple of times. But yeah, like when I created it, one of the problems was for technicians, how to save their time. Because these guys spend significant amount of time for time sheeting, reporting, and so on, so on, so on. I said, okay, guys, by the time it was 2013 or 14, Siri, you remember, like Siri was like new tool, like voice-to-text recognition. I said, hey, guys, there is very cool technology, let's use it. No one understood why. I said, okay, I can create solution which can help technician like speak out, and the information will be going to their reports, like timesheet reports. So it will save like 30, maybe 50% of their time, especially like winter time.
Yeah, because you see the guy, typically they come out, sit in their van, and they're in the van for 20 minutes or something, doing something, right? So I'm guessing in that time in their van, they're...
Well, 20 minutes, it's like best case scenario. Realistically, sometimes it takes more time. But no one was interested. So by the time I decided to leave TELUS and create my own business.
So TELUS didn't take you up on that. They weren't interested in doing it.
Well, like big corporations, people like their roles, like their salaries, their bonuses, but they don't like novelties. And actually, this is why it's huge, like fantastic opportunity for startups to create something new.
So just stand up for 2 more minutes. So, because that speaks to innovation, right? So often you'll see big companies buy small companies because the small companies did something innovative, and the big company didn't do that. Is that, do you think, why? Is like they're sort of have the sacred cows inside the business. They want to be innovative, but politically don't have the will. So somebody else does it.
Because people like stability. If something works, don't touch it.
Even if it's not optimally working.
Well, if it works, it works.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. So some companies create some like innovation department and so on. And given I used to work with many corporations, I'm talking like world, a large corporation. I don't believe they are very systematic. I don't believe they're very obsessed about the problem. They're obsessed about their position, salary, and bonuses. And this is the biggest problem. Like innovation, yes, if this innovation changes anything, it's cool. I said, well, purpose of innovation is to change something.
Yeah.
And this is the biggest problem.
So I'll come back to your innovation or the product that you built in a second. But I think since we're going down this path, if you think of what AI is doing right now inside corporate, right? Especially just the rate that it's changing. And given what you just said, that's got to be causing angst at some level of business, right? Because the change is coming at a bigger rate than it was before.
It
will
will
be more disruptive than
it will be one of the biggest changes, or like speaking your terminology, like disruptive approach for the past like century. And actually, recently I published article at LinkedIn about this topic.
Oh.
Companies will change their approach because the current paradigm is a one-size-fits-all solution. For example, you create application, you create platform, and you're trying to convince your clients, like business clients or like consumers, use it. And it's generic for each and everyone. Now it will be reversed. Companies will create hyper-personalized solution, like the same application or the same platform, like for you and you, will be different because you are different. You have different needs, you have different purposes, you have different everything. And the companies will need, companies who want to survive, they will be forced to like adopt this practice and create these solutions. And this is why companies, even large companies who don't want to do it, they will
Be forced to do it.
And people said, big company and so on, so on. Said, Nokia was one of the biggest, if not the biggest company.
Yeah.
BlackBerry. And so on. There are a lot of like this company, Netflix competitor. Blockbuster, yeah. So there were like lots of large companies who believed they're untouchable and they sit at the top of the Olympus and so on, but finally, like we don't see these companies.
Okay. So this is foreshadowing to some other questions we'll have about the new business or the new service that you're starting or app that you're starting. So let's go back to Lev. Tell us, had a brilliant idea. So take it from there.
Well,
I think it involves Shark Tank.
It started when I was part of TELUS, but no one was interested. So I decided this is time for me to start my own journey again.
Yeah. So clearly, you've always kind of had that entrepreneurial brain. If we go back to your time in Europe, you were creating the solutions for agriculture, which is really interesting because it kind of sounds similar to what you were doing at TELUS. Predicting things that people can't predict, like that's invaluable. It's such an asset to companies. And now that you found the solution at TELUS and you went in and you solved it on your own. So I want to go and I want to talk a bit about Mile, which is something that you're actually also wearing today, which I found was really cool. So obviously it's not the first business that you built, but I think it's a really cool and unique idea. So can you tell me a bit about the origin story, explain what Mile is, how you got the idea, and what problem you're solving with it?
Yeah, as I said before, the problem was to make people's life easier, and this is why it's called Mile. Make your life easier. And the idea was to use novel technologies, by the time like novel technologies, voice-to-text recognition and opposite.
What year is that, just for context? Like how long ago?
2013.
Okay.
And use voice-to-text technology, start using wearable technology. You see like this little device at my collar, and cloud technology. All of them were like very new. Challenge for me was like, probably it was like too ahead of the like market because everyone said like, wearable technologies, people don't want.
That's crazy to me. Even TELUS, I'm sure they're all right now doing audio messages all the time.
Like funny thing, and I'll mention in the future my next relationship with TELUS. Yeah, but by the time, like the idea was originally use some devices, maybe computers or phones, just to speak out and convert into text automatically. Use some rudimental AI, or by the time NLP, natural language processing, to convert into text, then parse this text, identify purpose and context of this phrase, and do something. Yeah, like we started communicating with people, myself, like personally communicated with over 7,000 people in like 2 years because people didn't believe in this, and I talked to many people here in Calgary, no response. Then one of my friends said, hey, go to San Francisco, talk to people there. San Francisco, in 1 week, I met more people than I met in Calgary for 2 years.
Actually, so I think that's even an interesting point. Just back to culture of innovation, right? So the fact that here you couldn't get traction on it, you go to the Valley and you've got more conversations in a week than 2 years.
Well, because...
So what does that say about Canada's innovation, appetite for innovation or ability to stay relevant?
I believe like Canada and Calgary in particular has appetite for this and like government trying to help, but money cannot change anything. Only people can. And the challenge is it takes some time to change people's mindset.
Damn.
And when you go to California, like if you know how it works, like you like go to Starbucks and in line for your coffee, talk to people around you, and next day you have like meetings.
No, really?
My case,
I've
yes.
been to the Valley, so I don't know if this is true.
Start conversation with the guy like in front of me, and he used to be some manager at Evernote, and we use Evernote as part of our solution. Next day, he arranged meeting with vice president. The following day, it was vice president of Google. The following day, it was offered like meeting Google X, like this secret division, so on. So like in 1 week, I met like lots of people. And people said like, well, it's very novel. We don't know if it really like in demand, but we would do it a try because wearable, miniaturization in general is the next big wave. Voice to text is the next big wave. Cloud solution and so on, so on. By the time no one use AI, but NLP, it's the next big wave. And this hit me like, do it, just do it, give it a try. Worst case scenario, you would fail, but at least you'll learn something. And actually it was the best advice because I asked like, I don't know if I need to continue. They said, you can stop right now and for the rest of your life, you'll think, maybe I shouldn't do it. Or maybe you give it a try, fail, and you know exactly. Or maybe you win. So this is why for now I'm just in the same position of these guys, and I communicate with many startups, beginners, and I say the same thing. So if you have cool idea, give it a try, but do it like the smart way, not just some dumb stuff. Yeah, but
what is the smart way? How do you mean?
Smart way means you need to plan ahead, regardless of what you're going to do, how you're going to do, plan it. 99% you will do differently. But you need to plan out everything.
Regardless of...
Like product development, business development, customer acquisition, marketing, intellectual property, everything. You need to think for 3 years at least. Because when you do this mental exercise, you're trying to identify some gaps which you don't know that you don't know. Like I want to attract like X amount, like million users. I'm going to do it this way. And to do it this way, I need to do this and this and these steps. Is it possible? And then you start like digging deeper and trying to understand like if it's doable in general. If you have some roadblocks. If you have roadblock, how you can remove it and so on. And again, like down the road, everything will be absolutely different, but at least you will be prepared.
Forcing yourself to think through
yes.
what you know what you know, and then what you don't know, right?
Yeah, and planning, it's number one. Number two, people. Build a team, surround yourself with people who share your vision. Not people who like contractors who said pay me 300 grants and I will do it. Try to avoid people from corporations because they have corrupted mindset. Great for corporation, but corrupted for startup environment. Find a good advisor because guys who had this pain before, they will ask most likely the right question. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And so on, so on, so on. And they will make you think thoroughly and build your plan.
And you said something interesting as well, which was find people that believe in the vision around the team, but not be subcontractors. So that sounds like you really want people that are engaged and committed to what
engagement it's critical, especially at the very beginning, because you have no resources or very limited resources. financial, human resources. So you need to surround yourself with people who are willing to dedicate 300% of their time, effort, network, whatever they have, to do it.
So how are you selling these people? What exactly does Mile do, and how did you sell them on the vision to give me 300% of your time? This is what we're going to achieve.
I never ask to give me 300%. I usually communicate with people and ask to give their thoughts because I understood novel product practically wherever can be sold immediately, right? Because it's hard. People cannot build the image in their mind and imagine how exactly this product will serve their needs. And this is the biggest problem. So this is the reason why I communicated with 7,000 people. I just shared my idea, said, hey, what do you think? Most people said, bullshit, I don't understand it. Some people said, it's very interesting. I'd like to give it a try. Okay, how you would like to give it a try, and so on, so on, so on. So just communicate with people, asking questions, and some people said, hey, I'd like to help you. I said, how? I'm a developer, I can create iOS application for you, and so on, so on. Other guys, FFF, family, friends, and fools said, hey, I like this idea, I'd like to invest. I said, it's high risk. They said, that's fine. So I'm just working oil and gas, I have some money, I can give you 40 grand, 10 grand, 20, and so on. So actually my first investment came from FFF surrounding.
So what was your elevator pitch then? If you meet someone quickly, you're in San Francisco, you're having a coffee, and someone asks you, what are you working on? How do you explain it to them quickly? I know it's a very complex new product, but in simple terms, how would you have pitched it?
Well, by the time I didn't know term elevator pitch or pitch and people,
Yeah.
because I didn't know that I didn't know, because like the businesses I built back in Russia, they didn't require it. Like people knew me, and I built like businesses for many businesses. I didn't know about elevator pitch. I just share like my vision with people with simple words. Hey guys, I'm trying to combine 3 novel things: voice to text, natural language processing, and wearable in one place, a tiny little device. And it will help save you like 2 hours a day. And people like, how? When you have some idea in your mind, what you do? So people said, I take my phone, like find the application, like SMS, like for my wife, for example, or Evernote or whatever, and do it. I said, how much time does it take? I didn't think, let's do it right now. Like send message to me, and like my phone, unlock it, find application, send message. Okay, I said 47 seconds.
Check notifications on the way. You're on
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah.
And
I
then
said,
you get
okay,
on the, yeah.
try to imagine you are driving. It's like 101 in San Francisco. He said, well, probably I postponed. I said, like, try to imagine this little device. Send message to Pavel. Let's meet in 23 minutes and there. And you're driving. Tap. Evernote, I have a cool idea, do this. Or like tap. Calendar, meeting tomorrow with Dominic at 3 p.m. at this place. And this is it. And you continue driving. And people said, like, how much time, like, really, myself? On average, people use their phone around like 200 times a day. If you can reduce it in half, you can save around like 2 hours a day. And and everything will be collected in one place. And we're trying to position in this tool originally for like technicians, I said. Then people start approaching me, like real estate agents, salesmen, just said, oh, I need it. Single moms said, like, hey, I need it because I'm so busy. I'm so crazy to jobs kids. And I need just to memorize lots of things and so on. And I understood, like, market exists. I didn't know, like, who's the target audience by the time because, again, it was, like, too weak. And this is why I decided to launch a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo, just to see who will pay for this product, which doesn't even exist.
And so how long did it take for you to spool that up, to get the campaign up? And then it sounds like it was quite successful, I think.
It was, like in 3 hours, we collected 300% of required funds.
That's crazy.
And I stopped campaign because, like, I didn't even know like, if we would be able to deliver this product. I decided to stop campaign. It was, like, more not for the money raising per se, but for validating the idea.
You have the market proof. Yeah, because I think it's a really cool product because the value really depends on the person. Like for me, just hearing that people usually go on their phones 200 times a day, I'm hearing that and I'm like, I probably do. Like maybe I don't spend that long on it, but I've recently noticed that I bring my phone everywhere with me. Like if I'm in the house and I'm going upstairs for 2 minutes, I'm going to grab my phone. Why?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to, right? And just the idea of having something that helps me spend less time on my phone. And you started this, what, in 2013?
Well, idea was like 2013, then like 14, I dedicated time to talking to people.
Yeah.
And in 15, like beginning of 15, I finally figured out, probably I need to do it.
Yeah,
because
so
again,
10
I didn't
years
know
ago,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and like by the time I guess it was very new. Wearable devices started appearing on the market. Like I was one of the first guys who bought Pebble, if you know, these smartwatches. Eric Mikigovsky, the guy from Toronto. He's with Y Combinator right now. So I like the idea because I'm just seeing the time, like smartwatches always with us. But I like the idea of wearable device because it makes our life like much easier. And actually device which requires no phone, no computer connection, like tap and speak. And when your phone is nearby or like network is nearby, it figure out like, okay, I have connection, all saved messages, secured moved to the cloud, and from the cloud like decomposed into specific pieces, contextualized, and like sent out into different applications.
And it works for like everything then, right? Like if I'm driving and I'm like, shoot, I have to go grocery shopping later and I forgot to add bananas to my list, I can just say right then and there.
Yeah, grocery list, banana, and so on.
Bananas, yeah.
Yeah, and when like we launched crowdfunding campaign, I actually did some preparation, of course. I went to San Francisco, like directly to Indiegogo office, met the guy who is accountable for... Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but you need to talk to people. Just met the guy, Steve Tam. who used to run a hardware division in Indiegogo and ask questions, give me advice, like what and how we need to do it
So
right.
did they help you get on the For You page, so to speak? Because to get
No, they
sort
just
of
provided
attention in 3 hours.
advice, recommendations about how to do it right, how to approach people, and so on and so on. Because if they did it hundreds, if not thousands, time before, I believe they have some statistics, some experience, best practice, which we can adopt. So instead of reinventing a wheel, I just talked to the guys. They said it's better to do it Thursday, for example, at 11 a.m. or something like this, and this message and so on and so on. So we did it all prep work. Started campaign and set up application, Indigo application on the phone, and it's blinking and zinking when some new subscribers come in.
Yeah.
It was zing, 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 zing. I said, okay.
You're doing well.
Probably it works, in 3 hours, I saw we raised over 300%, and I decided just to shut it down because if we promise deliver product to 1 million people and cannot deliver, it will be terrible. If we promise to thousands people and cannot deliver, it's not good, but it's not so painful for us and for people. It was crowdfunding campaign. We validated it. It actually helped because after that, practically all government agencies started providing us with grants.
Okay.
So NRC Arab, Alberta Innovates, and CERC, and Metax, and some others. They said, okay, shut up, take my money. Because we see, you guys know, understand, you know what you're doing.
And then was that for the Dragon's Den show? Did that happen before or after?
After, actually. There is no correlation or relationship between these guys because sometime later, one of my friends asked, why don't you go to Dragon's Den? I said, what the hell is Dragon's Den? I said, take a look. I just dedicated some time, watching some episodes. I said, okay, I like this idea. And I communicated with one of the producers. So they invited me, okay, you need to sell it to me first. I sold it immediately. And they said, okay, in, I don't know, May-ish, we would have next season 13. And you're welcome.
There's some questions?
Yeah, so I actually just watched it the other day, and you had 3 people interested in your business. To me, I was like, oh, that's got to be a huge advantage because those dragons, if you will, they have so much experience, they have huge networks, but also I imagine that they have huge egos and they want to have a lot of say. So we see a lot of Dragon's Den, success stories, we see the pitch, but we don't really get to see what happens 10 years later. How is that relationship? So immediately after Dragon's Den, what does that involvement look like from the dragons?
It was painful exercise because for me, again, Dragon's Den, it was more a marketing campaign than money. I didn't expect to get money. I actually didn't expect any of them would put money. I expected Michelle Romanov would do it because she is expert in this area, and I hoped she would understand what I do, and she was the first, if you watched it.
Yes.
My goal was just go to TV and try myself. If I am capable of staying in front of virtually 20 million people and deliver my message. So I just wanted to prove myself, I can do it. And this way, no preparation, nothing. I just went there, talked to the guys.
No preparation, you just showed up.
Well, the producer dedicated 15 minutes or so doing some stuff before this event, and she asked what exactly does your product do? I said try to imagine you pour water and in the bucket full of holes and water disappears, or normal bucket. So what we do, we just help people keep all their ideas, thoughts, knowledge, whatever in some place, some digital copy of their head, and keep it and use it. Said, we have cool idea. We have heads of people. Let's drill buckets. And they
that happened right before the show.
Yeah, it was right before the show. Two plastic heads, one with holes.
Yeah.
And I was trying just to use it. I don't know how it looked, but it was funny experience. Originally, this dragon said, we don't understand. I said, hey guys, think about the future. We're at the very beginning of something big. Let's do it. And then Michelle, then Rolene, and Diem, and so on, so on, so on. Challenge is when you have one dragon, you can handle it because after this event, not they, their lawyers, their analysts, and so on, communicate with you because lots of paperwork. And you can handle it when it's one person. When a 3-person, they need to align it like with all of them. So it took like 4.5 months for back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And by the time we've got money from government, we've got money from investors, and it's ended up as nothing. But still, it was good experience because it was great marketing. And since
Great
that time,
visibility, yeah.
yeah, like you see it somewhere like, I don't know, like Starbucks, and people say, oh, I saw you. I'm Dragons Den.
I used to watch it. I probably saw you when I was younger. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just to kind of wrap up, Miles, so are you still currently working on it? Did you sell the company? Where is it at today?
No, by the time, like, it was new business for us because hardware, it's terrible. So I recommend many people, if you can about hardware, do it because like producing like device like this one, it's simple, like technologically simple device, like with like simple elements and so on, not rocket science. But each iteration will cost you around $200,000. And any small changes, 3 more months and like 150 grand to 200, and so on, so on, so on.
So every iteration on the device would be that expensive?
Yes. And then you need to certify and so on, so on. So like we did it, and we understood like we can continue doing this, but we need to raise like more money and so on. By the time like team was like tired and so on. And some guy from Siemens, America, I don't remember department, appeared and said, hey, it's very cool tool. We would like to use this for Siemens technicians.
It's almost like the original.
I said, like,
Yeah.
tell me how. And he said, like, we have guys, they spend huge amount of time for time sheeting, reporting, and so on.
Full
And
circle
your
moment,
device,
yeah.
because it tracks audio, text, time, and location, it can solve our problems. I said, okay, cover all our debts, give us some money extra, and we have deal. Because by the time, in parallel, I had the idea of my sibling, like focused on the medical space or healthcare or preventive healthcare space. Because many people I communicate with said, it's cool tool, I'd like to give it to my mom. I said, like, tell me a story. He said, like, oh, my mom lives in small town in Wisconsin. She's 83 years old. I call her like 3-4 times a day just to make sure she's all right and so on and so on. This device will track her activity and I will be able to see if she's all right. This device provides reminders, notifications, like every like hour, beep, beep, beep. Joanne, time for a glass of water. Oh, yeah, thanks, dear. Or like beep, 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 time for your medication. Beep, 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 time to eat. When you eat something, you tap. I had 2 fried eggs with bacon and a slice of something. And it calculates your calories, your nutrition, and so on. And he said, like, I need it. And I started talking to people, and it happened, like, yeah, a big problem. And accidentally, I was introduced to one of the doctors who's the head of the rehabilitation center, stroke, heart attack, and things like this one. And he said it would be cool for us because biggest problem for us, we can help people when they have like this event. Then they feel better. We send people back home. We give them recommendation. People feel better and they don't follow it. They stop following recommendations. And for many cases, 80%, yeah, it usually happens like second event. And I said, well, we can solve this problem. We cannot save millions of people's lives, but we can reduce it significantly. And we created a new brand called Omela. Omela, it's a tree which gives people immortality. And we created, by the time, like conceptual approach, and for now we launching it. And we want to help people save their lives. Well, generally help people live longer and happier.
Wow, you're a busy guy. That is a lot to have going on. Because on top of all that, you and Dom, you guys met through a whole different entrepreneurship journey of yours. So how did you two meet? Which project was it? And how does that tie into Zane, what you're currently working on today?
So I met Pavel through a colleague of mine, and I'm a marketing branding consultant, let's say. And so Pavel came to me with, I think I could go to markets, when I'm looking for a bit of a go-to-market strategy for company called Right Financial, which is basically using AI and not to just do budgeting, but sort of do lifestyle planning. So more sophisticated than a budgeting app. And how we ended up with Zane very simply was, my comments were, if you look at the marketplace, Right Financial sounds like a bank. It doesn't sound like it's modern. It sounds like it's the category. It sounds like every other budgeting tool out there. And just given the target audience he's going after, I'm like, you need to sound different and have a name that's like almost like an empty container that the market can create value around. So that's how we ended up with Zane. Short notes on that. And that's how I met Pavel. And I know it's interesting to see how take a rocket scientist from Russia, apply to human needs, and end up with novel technology. And then I think since then it's evolved to using the latest and greatest in AI developments to make more individual. So back to what Pavel was talking about, large companies will have a one-to-one customized relationship between them and constituents. I think this is where the new Zane app is going. So before we get there, maybe talk a bit about why you wanted to build a financial app for the masses that would help them be more financially set up for life. Maybe start with that, and then we'll come back into like how you ended up from
when I
to Zane.
finalized my journey with Smile, I needed something like which will be purposeful and beneficial for me, like financially beneficial. And one of my friends told, ATB has a new department, and they have a new guy, Wellington Holbrook, who is a CTO, and this guy is obsessed with AI. I sent my application, like my resume, and said, "Hey, I'm smart guy, hire me."
The recurring
That's a
theme.
good sell, yeah.
The recurring theme here.
Yeah, and actually next day HR called me, like, very impressive resume, let's have like preliminary chat. I said, sure, we have interview like for 7 minutes. Said, okay, tomorrow I will book time with a few of our directors. Next or the following day, they invited me to ATB headquarters. And they said, yeah, we are building a new team like AI. We want to implement Google Cloud Platform and AI technologies to our tool. I said, like, I don't know what you do, but you do it wrong. Sorry, guys. And we had like 2-hour-long discussion. And next day they called me and said, yeah, like we would like to invite you and so on. It was a great time because, again, I joined maybe because of the Wellington, because he's very visionary guy, and I'd like to work with a guy with this kind of vision. So he was able to see the future. So like we had freedom to do whatever we believe is right, use tool which we believe is right, and create solutions and so on. So we created like multiple AI-driven solutions for many stakeholders. It was great time. Then Wellington like left or had left, and actually most of the guys like myself left ATB as well. But why I started doing this? Because when I was with ATB, COVID started. And COVID impacted many people, especially here in Calgary. Impacted financially because many people started losing jobs. And the challenge for many local guys, I mean oil and gas guys, they usually have good salary and don't care about the future. They believe it will last forever. And my good, like many digit salary will be forever and I will be fine. But it happened, life is very unpredictable. And many people started thinking about what and how I can do to save a portion of my money and grow this portion somehow. And many of them, they're great, fantastic engineers, but they have no expertise in financial like literacy. Actually, not only them, practically each and everyone. 99% of the population, not Canada, like I mean around the globe, have like no financial literacy. So they approached ATB and said, hey, can you help us? What usually banks do, they said like, go to broker or someone like advisor, he or she will help you. So advisor said, do you have $100,000? We will invest it and so on. No, I don't have 50. No, get out. And I said, okay, we need to help people save more money. Like saving money, there are two ways. Like making more money or spending less money. Making more money is not an option for many people because when you have like some stable job, well, you can have your 2-3% increase and so on. So you need to spend less. But at the same time, you need to keep up with your normal lifestyle. So you need to identify some opportunities which will help you remove some overspending which you don't need. And there is fantastic phrase from Dave Ramsey, the guy who created Every Dollar. Many people spend money they don't have for things they don't need to impress people they don't know. And this is true. This is really true because this is exactly what people, including myself, many people do. And if you can identify this, I wouldn't say like stupid spending, like some unnecessary overspending, you can save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every month. But you need to build a budget, which is not like generic budget. Spend like 10% for this, 20% for that. No, it should be hyper-personalized budget. a budget for your like meal, for your mortgage, for your rent, for your car, for your everything, and a little bit here, little bit here, little bit here, and here you go, like $1,000 came out of nowhere.
So the person is able to save money without really noticing that they're adjusting their lifestyle. You're just basically.
And Zane's doing it. Is Zane
catching the
building
leak.
the budget?
Well, yes. And like this is how the story started. I approached my boss, like at ATB, VP of AI, and said, "Hey Dan, there is this cool idea. We can help our clients save like $500 extra each month. Where this money will go to the accounts at ATB. So like, and we have by the time like around 1 million users, a little bit below, but roughly we will get $500 million each month." And it will be incrementally grown plus $500 million, and so on, so on.
So build a deposit base up basically.
Yeah, and deposit it's like number one for banks.
Yeah.
They said, we're a bank. We give people loans, period.
Really?
Yeah.
They would.
And yeah, so like I said, probably not interested. Started seeking something else. And by the time guys from my previous organization from Telos called me and said, hey, we want to implement GCP and TI to Telos. Can you help us? I said, yeah, sure. So I joined Telos, built a team, hired like 12 people, data science, data engineers, data analysts. We integrated the Google Cloud Platform, created AI solutions, but it was too slow. So like in a few months, I lost my interest, well, almost a year, and said, no, I don't want to continue because I'm just wasting time. And I ended up with RBC, Royal Bank of Canada. The same solution. So bank wanted to integrate novel tools, like AI-driven tools, and I believe RBC did a fantastic job, like hired lots of people, like over 1,000 individuals related to this area, and we wanted to create a tool similar to what I wanted to do, to help people better manage their personal finance, identify saving opportunities, identify investment opportunities, and help people grow. But challenge is like big organization is very slow. And by the time I wanted to use advanced technologies, like just novel by the time, like OpenAI tools and so on, so on. Challenge was you cannot break the wall between the internal world, I mean RBC world, and external world. Because to integrate AI, you needed to build like a whole and move data to like OpenAI APIs, massage this data, do like math and magic, and move it back. And legal team said, never.
Too risky for the bank.
Yeah, and I said, okay, that's fine. And moved away and actually created my own solution. By the time it's called Wealth Lab. And the goal was like help people with budgeting, because I communicate with people and said, we help you save more money, and we'll help you grow this money. And actually, it was the opposite. I approached people, said like, I'd like to help you grow your money first, because said like you have like extra, I don't know, $300, $500, $700 a month. What you can do this money? Let's think about this. You can spend this money, like go to restaurant, whatever. It's ridiculous. You can go to bank and like use like some saving account and grow your money 0.25%. You can, but it's ridiculous. You can invest this money like Robinhood and other tools like Quick Trade, but 94% of people statistically lose their money in 2 years.
Really? Is that high? And
Because they start from some like safe, secure solutions, it works,
Yeah.
and they said like, let's increase risks a little bit. And many of them end up with some Bitcoin and so on, so on, so on. And kaboom, one day something happens.
Yeah.
So people lose. You can go to broker, and broker said, you have 50K, no, get out. I said like, when we have like hundreds of thousands or maybe millions of people like you, and we keep all your money in one pot, and which is like safe, secure, insured, and so on. We work with the world's largest investment organizations, and we can grow your money. Like 5%, 10%, maybe more. Like low risk and high return.
So
People
you
said,
use the aggregate to basically get to the best money managers in the world,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And people said, it's cool, it's fantastic, but every month we're cash negative. We don't have like some extra money, we have minus extra money. And challenge for the current population, over half of Canadians and Americans use their retirement savings for everyday stuff. So RRSP or America 401k, so people use this money like for now, and they have nothing for retirement. And this is problem. I said, okay, let's think about why it happens. Let's discuss what you do. And like after communicating with people, again, over 1,000 people for almost a year, I figured out people said we need a budget, which can help us better manage money, identify saving opportunities, and save more money. I said, well, there are lots of tools on the market. Like every dollar, YNAB, like Rocket something, Pocket Guard, and so on. Why don't you use the tool? Well, they tried many tools. Challenge with these tools, two challenges. Number one, it's too generic. So the tools give you numbers, and you don't understand how. For example, meal planning, $1,200 for your meal. And people don't understand where this number came from. Why 1,200, not 15 or 500? And how exactly I'm supposed to spend this money just to keep this limit? It's number one. And number two, it's requires too many manual effort. You need to put this, you need to put that, and so on. Some of these tools enable you to connect your bank accounts and automatically collect your transactions, and then use some math to identify your future expenditures. But challenge is transaction is part of this exercise. And budget, it's all or nothing. You cannot create partial budget because the portion of this money which you cannot manage will create some risks for you. And this is why we decided to approach it differently, create a budgeting tool which will digitize people's lives, like families, their needs, their demand, their requirements, everything from mortgage and rent to utilities to Uber eating out and down to each carrot. And in this case, people have the whole visibility on their expenditures, by day, by transaction, by item. And when they see a number, they can easily understand where this number came from. And if some household income, $5,000, and expenditures $4,323, and a saving it's 700 something, they understand where this number came from because they can look at any day and say, okay, tomorrow I have 3 payments. One is my Telus mobile, another is car loan, and another one is grocery. And they can dive deeper, grocery, not literally down to each carrot. And in this case, people started understanding at least, okay, it's doable. If we have a proper budget, we have an opportunity to save extra money. But then people said, yes, we see it, but challenges. We are human beings. We are psychological creatures. We cannot simply follow it. We are not robots. Can you create a tool for us to make it easier? And again, hundreds of communications. How you see this tool? Which tools you tried? Which worked? Which didn't work? How would like to use existing tools but change it a little bit? And we ended up with a solution, a debit card, which has daily limits but flexible limits. Today it's $100, tomorrow $250, and so on, so on, so on. And automated payments.
So you have safeguard, puts the customer on rails, right? They can
actually, we even launched product. Maybe I even have card with me.
So the one thing that Pavel's very good at, from what I'm understanding from this conversation, is so there's a rule of thumb: if you're doing a startup, get out of the building and go and talk to customers.
Yeah.
So
don't build in isolation, which I think that's sort
so
of the hallmark
by
of
the
your
time
startups.
we renamed our business into Right. Company
You
was
should hide this.
Right Inc. You won't be able to buy Yacht. It has $200, maybe $300.
Which was do the right thing.
But this is super interesting to me because I'm at that crossroads where I'm 23 now. I graduated university. I've worked all the summers while studying, so I have some money saved up. But I'm kind of hesitant. I have had some meetings with the people at my bank. I'm with CIBC right now, but I feel like they're selling me so hard just to get commissions. Mm-hmm. And I do have I've taken a couple finance classes. I was in business, so I do have some knowledge, but I feel like they on purpose, they overcomplicate things to make you be okay, yeah, sure, whatever you say, you know more than me. Yeah. So because of that, I've put off investing, and I've kind of just been hesitant to do it. And I'm not at a place where I can go to a broker, go to a wealth manager. Mm-hmm. So I think a tool like Zane could be really useful for people my age to help with the budgeting, help control it, and also just help not overconsume. It's true. We're being sold to things 24/7 on social media, in person, on everywhere, So it's nice to have something to tell you. You can treat stupid marketers.
Unfortunately, we live in the world of consumerism, where everyone, retailers, banks, and so on, have only one motto: spend, spend, spend.
Yeah.
Right. Our motto, even though we position as banking organization, financial organization, our motto is opposite: save, 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 but do it smart way. And budgeting is just one of the like opportunities for you to save money. Then there are other opportunities like money management. I mean, operational money management, because like you have CIBC, TD, RBC, whatever, and you use different financial institutions for different things, right? Mortgage or rent payments for this, car payments for that, like their daily payments for this, and so on. And sometimes people forget to move money across their bank's accounts, and they have penalties. And actually, I was surprised when I know like over $1,000 a year people spend for penalties alone, for credit cards, for late payment fees, and so on and so on. So like in addition to our tool, like this debit card, investment account, we said, okay, we can help you automatically, semi-automatically manage all your money, because we build forecast for you anyway. Like for each day, like next month, like September, you know, like a month ahead, how much money spent each day and for what, like merchant, amount, day, transaction, like items within transaction, and so on, so on, right? We can notify you a few days ahead and say, hey, Jonathan, like after tomorrow you have 3 payments. And by the way, like your RBC account has like insufficient funds. You need to move $300 because it will be your car loan, something. And you see like you had like few penalties before, like each missed payment, it's $48. Like for last year, it was 4 times for you. Like you spent $200,
And nothing.
like not
Those are
literally
so
like for nothing.
I've had that before. They're really frustrating.
It happens with many people. Like people forget about all this stuff, and we said, we will automate this process. Money will be moved, but all your savings, like every day, will grow. Like we don't want to give you some ridiculous numbers like Bitcoin, whatever. I don't believe in it. But we're talking about some stable stuff like ETF and so on, which are low risk and high reward, like around 10% on average. Some year it might be like 5%, some year might be 25%. But for the past 30 years, it's like 12% on average. So if you have your extra money, extra savings, you're like mid-20s, by 50, you will be able to generate like extra $1 million. Because,
aren't you
like,
jealous of me right now?
Yeah, like
With all this-
50.
Was Pavel when I was younger.
Yeah, like
the app when I was
$500 a month, like extra 10% annual growth. It's over $1 million in like 30 years.
So I just want to pivot the conversation on two levels. One is, since you're a rocket science and you've been in sort of the data science world for a substantial period of time, and you built Right, which became Zane from a brand point of view. When did you start building it? 2 years ago? Like how long was it?
Yeah, more than 2 years ago. But again, like we had like few iterations, like WellSlab. I didn't know about WellSimple by the time. Then it converted into Write, because when I talked to people said, "Oh, you do write things." I said, "Let's check." I went to register and said, "I want to incorporate company Write Inc." So the agent laughed, said, "Hey, it's impossible." I said, "Give it a try." And I spent like $20 for nuance, like checking company name, said it's available.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, yeah. And many people don't try it because it said like it probably exists. Most people think, yeah, probably doesn't exist. But give it a try. It costs you like $20. Worst case scenario, okay, you'll skip 3 coffees. Like next week and so on. And it was available. So I incorporated company, Write Inc. And started operating under brand Write, and actually issued card. Like banking services, card payments, and so on, but it was in America. And last year before, it was big issue with Silicon Valley Bank, because it's bank for startups. When it collapsed, it impacted our partners. Our partners collapsed us, and we had to shut it down. But problem is still here, even bigger for now, because more people lose money, more people lose their hope for the future. And as we discussed previously, like hopeless people, it's very dangerous people. My personal case, like when I was like SKP twice from Tajikistan and from Russia, both cases, the poor economical situation was the driving force of this negative case scenario. And unfortunately, in Canada, I see lots of red flags for now, like 17 years ago and now, two different countries. And one of my goals, and actually my biggest goal, is social one. I want to leave my kids a country which I arrived in 17 years ago, like the same stable country with nice people, friendly people, good economics, and so on and so on. But If people cannot do it, it will be hard for us.
And the financial stability really is the underpinning of that.
Yeah, well, my goal is to help, for now, target million people, and I hope this million people will be a catalyzer for other people. Because if it works for this group of people and other people see, I hope and I believe other people will start following the same approach, like building, budgeting, managing money, and so on. And given our tool is fully automated, it's hyper-personalized, it doesn't require extra time, effort, or mental effort. It's easy
Gen
to
Z's
use.
gonna love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because
Patterns here, between the tap and make it simple and have
Yeah, it's actually, I'll combine these guys in the future because the tool I create, like Amela, it's for health. Zain for wealth. And down the road, I want to give 2 in 1, health and wealth in one.
I'd like to have you talk two things. One is just from a business point of view, what speed to market and how investors perceive that, because that's a bit around what happened with Right. And then along the way, I think technology has changed so that you've gone from, I'm going to make stuff up here, but you've gone from a sort of LLMs, AI to agentic AI, which I think is the new app platform. And that allows this hyper-personalized new experience, right?
Yep.
So I want to give you an opportunity, to teach people about business that time to market is important because that's what keeps investors aligned and allows the business vision to move. And if you make mistakes, it's painful. So there's a bit of a business lesson there, so I'd like to have you touch a bit on that.
Yeah.
And then ironically, or maybe fortuitously, in pivoting or shutting down this business to come to this business, it's allowed you to refactor the tech stack to create a more hyper-personalized app, right? So it's sort of negative in the sense that this shut down, that's probably painful. But the flip side is you're better able to respool up, take advantage of the more recent changes, and given your deep background in it, just sort of I think there's an opportunity to teach an audience around the rate of change, how you take advantage of it, and how maybe the vision of how AI impacts app development. Because you're going to go from a screen where I have to punch buttons to I can just talk to something and I get this hyper-personalized experience, and that's going to change app development and even browsers. It's going to change how consumers or people interact with technology. So I think there's a kind of a current.
You're right
topic there, right?
on both cases. First of all, development. For now, it's much, much easier because the original version of the budgeting which I created, it took almost maybe over a year to build it. Now, I've built a next generation of this, much more advanced tool, and it took for me 4 days.
What?
Yeah. Well, 4 days to build, and I believe it will take a couple of weeks to hone it and so on and so on. But it's
But you knew what you were building too, right? You had
yes,
knowledge of sort of
knowledge, obviously, experience. But I'm talking about companies. I'm talking about developers who have expertise and experience in this area. For now, it's much, much faster. And as I said before, I'm sure for 99.9%, many companies will redesign and redevelop their tools because they will start building tools. And again, for businesses and for consumers, to surround consumers or users with hyper-personalized experience. And two, data analysts or business analysts sitting in one office might have different experience because of this stuff. In our case, yes, it was good and painful experience, which cost me lots of money and time, nervous and so on and so on. But again, this market, change or die. And unfortunately, many of my partners didn't want to change. They want to create traditional tools. I said it won't work. It won't work because people are different. Well, people are changing. Market is changing. Everything is changed. So I understood, I've learned a lot of things, but decided to shut it down and start new business. Not new name. It's new everything. Technology, architecture, approach, target audience, everything would be different.
So.
And I attracted people who top level expert in this area. Said, hey guys, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to change the banking and financial system, which used to be the same for the past 700 years. Now it's time to change it.
And part of that would be back to, I think you have a banker in your pocket, and it's my banker. They've known me for my whole financial career, and I would get very individual advice versus say what Leo would get, right? Or any other consumer. So now you've got sort of 1 million people and 1 million different experiences being delivered off this one platform.
You're absolutely
super appealing for people my age too. And I think there's a lot of, people, everyone in their young early 20s is like, I'm never going to be able to afford a house. I'm never going to be able to buy this. I'm never going to be able to budget enough for this. So I think Zain is really a fun solution. And people are looking for new solutions like CIBC, RBC, all of the banks, they're all the same. They're all offering a similar offering, right? So we're really looking for something different. And on top of that, Zain's Canadian, right? So I'm really excited to see where it goes in the next couple of years. I'm really interested in becoming a customer. But just to kind of wrap things up here, so we've covered a lot of grounds. You've obviously started a lot of really cool and successful businesses. So from this journey, do you have 3 short key lessons that would be a great takeaway for entrepreneurs who are also looking to build businesses just like you?
Well, actually, we discussed all 3 items. Number 1, proper planning. Number 2, proper team. And number 3, talk to your potential users. Don't reinvent the wheel. Try to understand people's real pain, how they're trying to solve this pain, what kind of obstacle they see, and how you can solve this problem. Because during this conversation, you might change the way you build your business, your product, and so on, so on, so on. Like Mile was a good example, because originally we created for one target audience and one message, save your time, and so on, so on. But we ended up with different message. And it came from people, like from our users. When I asked some guy, like, why you like it? He said, because I can back up my mind. I said, here you go. Back up your mind. And we changed like our message. So people like didn't understand maybe like from the very beginning, like when I told you people, what you build, Mile, what it does, backups your mind. I don't know what it is, but it sounds cool.
Yeah.
And so on, so on, so on. Because when you know the pain of your users, like inside and out, it's much easier for you to better serve these people. Well, if it's your pain, it's much easier, of course, and this is my pain. So yeah, like these 3 things, focus on them and move forward.
Those are great takeaways. Thank you so much for your time today. I really had a great time learning about Zain, and I'm really looking forward to see where it's going to be in the next coming years.
Yeah.
So
Thank you,
last
guys.
quick question would be, where can we find it?
You can go to site, zenmoney.com. Subscribe if you want to be the first like early adopter. And when we're launching, you will be the first.
Awesome.
Perfect. I will be subscribing.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Thank you for inviting me.